Hello and welcome to the show. I am Joe Tophat. Back in May of 1984, two friends named Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird self-published a comic book they called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The concept was based on some drawings they made as a joke and only self-published so they could have a portfolio piece. A grand total of 3,000 comics were printed and they all sold out in 30 days. Of course, we all know that these heroes in the half shell would go on to appear in cartoons, movies, video games, and countless merchandise. Before any of that could happen, they needed to star in their second issue. You see, Eastman and Laird never dreamt that a comic with a title as goofy as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would sell. Their first comic was meant to be a one-off. That is why, spoiler alert, Shredder is killed in the end. Readers were demanding for a second issue, so Eastman and Laird gave them one on October of 1984. How did it turn out? Let's find out. The comic starts off with a splash page. Yeah! Hey, come on you guys, cut it out! Splinter can't hear the TV with you sparring in the same room. Don't bother, Leonardo. When Raphael gets this way, you just have to wait till he wears himself out. And Michelangelo's almost as bad. Crash. Believe it or not, these few panels help set up the Turtles' personalities. In the first issue, they were, for the most part, interchangeable. While it did show that Leonardo was the leader, and even hinted that Raphael was a bit of a loner, that was about it. Here, their personalities are a little more fleshed out. This is the first time we see Donatello working on the machine. Leonardo being the mature one, Raphael's love for fighting, and Michelangelo... Okay, so he doesn't have a personality in this issue, but the others you could start to see the beginnings of theirs. Anyway, they watched the news where Baxter Stockman and his assistant April, she doesn't have her last name yet, demonstrate these robots called Mousers that were created to deal with the city's rat problems. Splinter is concerned about the Mousers because, well, he is a rat after all. Well, April, some weeks later, expressed some concerns of her own. Listen to this, Baxter. It says that the police were baffled by these bank heists. They can't figure out how the tunnels were tunneled into so swiftly and neatly, through concrete and steel. The tunnels were so narrow, only a child could crawl through them. Or a very small adult. April, why are you boring me with this? Well, it's just that I've been thinking. Yes? The Mouser units. They could have dug tunnels like that easily. Oh, come now, April. Why would the Mousers dig holes in bank vaults? You helped me program them, remember? But what if someone else has gotten control of a couple Mousers and reprogrammed them? Really, April? Mother Computer would know if that happened and would tell me. I suppose you're right, Baxter. Still, April, I assure you that no one else has control over the Mousers except you and I. Come on, I have something to show you. I've already seen your fly collection, Baxter. Oh, come now, April. I have added more flies you haven't seen yet. It is going to be the greatest fly collection in history. Alright. I hope you get turned into a fly one day. What was that? Nothing. Actually, what he wanted to show her was a whole army of Mousers. It doesn't take April long to realize that Baxter was behind the robberies. Like any good villain, he tells her his plan. He wants to hold the city for ransom by having the Mousers weaken the foundations of some important buildings. April asks why is he doing this, since he can make money just by dealing with the city's rat problems. To which Baxter replies that he's doing it because it's fun. Why don't you take up a less destructive hobby like bowling or something? Baxter sends the Mousers to kill April to prevent her from contacting the police. They chase her down the sewers where she is saved by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In most adaptations, the origin of the Turtles is revealed after they first meet April. Although she does ask how they came to be, you have to go back and read the first issue to know what it was. Keep in mind this was back in 1984. Most people had never even heard of the Ninja Turtles, and you couldn't go on the internet to read the first issue. And the comic wasn't that widely available in comic book stores, so you had to have known somebody who owned the issue if you wanted to read it for yourself. Baxter appears on TV, with his face in the shadows of course, where he issues his demands. He threatens to destroy one of the World Trade Center towers at 3 o'clock the next day if the city doesn't pay him $20 million. This is awkward given recent history. Let's just get back to the comic. To show he's not bluffing, he destroys an empty building. April and the Turtles arrive at Baxter's lab to confront him. In a fit of desperation, Baxter hits the self-destruct button. You'll all die now. Shut up, fool! Now the Mouses will follow a new program. They'll come back here and won't stop eating until they've destroyed everything in this whole room, including you! Raphael, shut this loony up. Smack! Nice work, Raphael. My pleasure. That was satisfying. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop the Mouses from trying to kill them. Both April and Donatello work to try to shut them down through the computers, while the others fight them off. We get some pretty awesome action scenes, the best one being the splash page. The comic ends where they successfully took out the Mouses. This comic is very good and surprisingly holds up. It does a great job at introducing characters like April and Baxter, who would play a huge role in the Turtles' mythos. It's also fun to see Eastman and Laird start to develop the Turtles' personalities. This comic would later get adapted into the 2003 series. While it remains faithful for the most part, it adds some elements like Baxter working for Shredder. If you are interested in reading this or any of the other Turtles comics, I highly recommend you get the Ultimate Collection. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.